what you meet in another human being is really just a projection of your own evolution at that time. Everything in our world is about look outside, don't look in. So it's natural that we feel anxious, we feel lonely, we feel depressed, we feel disconnected even though we have 10 gadgets at our fingers.
Hi, welcome to Queer Talk. My name is Justin Gerhardt. We're celebrating the release of a new short film, Lorettas Flowers, and diving into some of the themes of intimacy, close encounters, and longing. Please welcome the writer, director, and producer of the film, Brendan Prost, as well as Harveen Sandhu, who plays the lead of the film, Loretta. We're so happy to be sharing this with our audience and just getting your work out there. It's a very powerful little film. Brendan, you are the writer, the director, the colorist, the producer. Did I miss anything?
I also do sound, but I don't need to boast. Just the writer director, all the credit I need. Yeah.
Tell us, just for our audience, what is Loretta's Flowers about in your words?
Well, it's basically the story of a woman cycling between these increasingly intimate encounters with these three people that she knows to varying degrees on a languid, long summer's day in Toronto. And it's kind of about her emotional experience of like unquenchable, like insatiable longing, that no matter what she does and no matter who she spends her time with, that she leaves each encounter still feeling kind of hollow, like something is missing. And for me, like the origins of the film were, basically, like recognizing that I was like feeling lonely and feeling quite disconnected from people, but not like looking at the evidence of my life and not really understanding how that could possibly be the case, because I am quite extroverted and, was professionally networking, making lots of friends, dating lots and stuff. And just like not understanding why I could feel that way. And it was beginning to stigmatize myself for my own loneliness and go like, what's wrong with you? That really made me stop and pause and go, this is a strange and like, I think unique and very contemporary experience. So that's kind of the emotional origin of the movie for me. A big part of the movie is about like knowing oneself and the challenge of parsing one's own desires and like longings. And ultimately discerning like what you want and what you need from other people. And I realized that the people who kind of like deal with that challenge the most acutely are like bi and pan folks. When you accept that your desires don't fit into like need particular binaries or categories, and that what you need from other people isn't just like a kiss from one person doesn't necessarily mean that it's romantic or sexual or friend. Like right. you really need to know. It's a real like you need to be looking inward and have a good sense of what you need and want from other people. And like bi and pan folks deal with that challenge acutely, and so that's where the queer nature of that story came from, I think.
Harveen, you play the lead of Loretta's Flowers. What was it like to play Loretta?
Initially, when I read the script, I was so captivated by the simplicity of the text, but I was also deeply frustrated as an actor with the text because it was so sparse. And so it was a really big challenge for me to bring life to a character who is a bit like constipated. That's how I like to describe her. She's sort of socially and I think spiritually constipated in so many ways. And I think a lot of us are in this age in our contemporary world. There was so much delicious tension. And I use the word delicious, I really mean that. Like you want that as an actor when you're working with a script. When it's difficult to bring off the page, it means that there's a lot to mine there. So it was really rewarding ultimately.
How would you describe the message of the film as somebody who played the lead?
I think one of the things that really strikes me is that it speaks to this sort of malaise that we are all collectively experiencing as young people in today's world, in our contemporary world, whether you are queer or not, or whatever else. I think for me, it really speaks to a spiritual dissonance and a lack of self-knowledge. And that really struck me, just Brendan, when you said that, the years of not knowing oneself or not knowing oneself, and therefore seeking oneself in every possible external way, through people, through experiences, through careers, through status, whatever it may be, right? Through material wealth. And I think that's kind of the thing, is that until we tap into that abundant wealth within that, you know, has no lack, then we're constantly feeling fragmented and feeling like we need to have more. So it's like more interactions, less quality. What I see in Loretta is like fear, just constant, you know, anything that her partner does or says, like she's she's so easily affected and so easily sensitized and sensitive to the things that are said and done around her. So there's this lack of solidity within herself. And we live in a world where the flavor of the day is like go seek outside, go seek everything outside, in interactions and dating, and the thing that's tricky about that, I see that it leads to like a fragmenting of yourself,
Right.
and a splintering of your energy and of your capacity to be at peace, actually, when you kind of give of yourself. Yeah.
Is this the longing? Like there's this longing that this is not enough, that I'm doing something wrong, that I'm not paying attention, or like, is that where some of this, like,
Totally.
seeking for intimacy, but it's never enough, or like you said, the flavor of the day changes every day. So
exactly. And I think we all have that longing. We all want to be more, like we want to expand infinitely, actually.
right.
And I think that's our birthright. And I think we can, but the source is internal, the source is within. And you know, it makes me think of this thing, like this old proverb or, you know, idea that what you meet in another human being is really just a projection of your own evolution at that time.
I love
Right.
that.
And so what you meet in another human being, meaning the things you love in another and the things you resent or you hate in another, is really what you love or resent in yourself, right?
Reflection.
Exactly. And our culture, our education systems, everything, nothing supports us looking inward. Everything is all about, you know, our marketing, media, consumerism, everything in our world is about look outside, don't look in. So it's natural that we feel anxious, we feel lonely, we feel depressed, we feel disconnected, even though we have 10 gadgets at our fingers and 10 different dating apps. Like we're so starved for true connection, because true connection starts with us, right? On an individual level. So I think in a macro sense, the film is incredibly powerful in that it has a very, for me, a very spiritual message that applies to everyone, not just the queer community. Although the queer community certainly is in a better position to perceive that that sense of lack or that sense of being othered, right? More so than other communities.
I'm curious just a little bit about that moment where the tears appear on the pillow.
For me, like the movie culminates in a moment that I think, honestly, like everybody has felt at one, like when you've just been intimate with somebody and they feel like they're a million miles away. I just like the idea that like he or she has a moment to like be kind of overwhelmed by this like distance from this person and to cry, and that she covers it up but leaves this like fragment or this artifact behind that just like is yearning to be seen. And like, yeah, and Harveen, like when I saw her perform that moment, like my heart broke. And like you also as a filmmaker get so excited because she left a single tear on the pillow. How did she do that?
I mean, it's gold. It's absolute gold. Harveen. Well,
never again. I don't even know how that happened.
Oh, honey, that was just the beginning. Harveen, what was that moment like for you?
It's experiencing a moment of genuine suffering and allowing it an expression and then hiding it, hiding your truth. And the irony of that, we're supposed to be intimate. We're supposed to know each other and feel safe and vulnerable, like allow ourselves to be vulnerable with each other. But I can't even show you that I've been crying, or that I'm crying every minute of my life, actually.
Okay, so I'm curious also what your favorite scenes personally of the film were. I know we talked about this tear scene, which was one of my favorite scenes, but I'm curious to know if there's anything else that was your favorite scene.
I think my favorite moment in the movie and like that I'm the proudest of is just that last single shot of Harveen and Sochi sitting on the bed. It's like a 3-minute take of two actors sitting in a wide shot, and I remember them doing that, and I like couldn't contain myself. It's so hard to watch them like exchange glances and need to say more things to one another, and like it's just like getting to watch these two people just throw these emotional Hail Marys back and forth and neither one of them really be able to catch it. I just, the magic of these two extraordinary actors, like embodying that sense of misconnection and seeing so much of my own life in that moment.
I think actually my favorite scenes from a character standpoint are probably the scenes where Loretta's biking alone in between encounters, because I see her there as her most sort of free and truly embodied, and she's not like losing out on like trying to be something with someone. She's just like herself fully.
Was there anything else that you two wanted to say about this project and this film?
Well, I just like, you know, wanted to say to Harveen, and I know some of our team will be watching, that I'm just like so grateful for your talent and your time and your contributions to make something that was so personal to me. And I'm just so proud, and I'm just like really grateful and really proud to Justin and Eddie and the Queer Network team for letting us share our work with your audience, which is you know, so enthusiastic and so invested in interesting, like character-driven work that I personally really like and really respond to.
In hindsight now, Brendan, I'm moved and touched and honored and humbled to have been able to bring a story of yours to life, but that also made me realize that it's my story as well, and probably the story of everyone watching it.
Well, I'm going to finish off with 3 questions that I want you to just fill in the blank. I am
grateful,
joyful.
Right. So one thing that I know for sure is
that film and art has the power to change lives.
I don't need other people to validate my value. I have value despite how my movies do and where they get programmed and things like that.
The last one, queer means
abundant diversity, expression, inclusivity, and sensitivity to life.
A rejection of the conventions and the boundaries of how we've traditionally understood gender and sexuality.
Thank you so much for your support, Justin.
Of course. We are just craving queer films. It is just like, not just for the queer community, but like you said, for everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks for making this so pleasant, Justin. Thanks so much, Eddie.
It's been so much fun. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us on Queer Talk. If you haven't already, go check out the movie Loretta's Flowers on the Queer Network. Links to follow Brendan, Harveen, and the cast are in the description. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the Queer Network, and remember, keep it queer.
When you come